We are live. Miracles and Wonder Down Under.
Don't know if I feel particularly live, considering today's show is permission to dance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there goes someone dancing off to work now.
I wish I was dancing.
Well, I guess we had that conversation yesterday, and it just makes me that we need to record all of our conversations, because that's
Trying to think back. Yesterday was such a long day.
the one conversation we had was over
Yeah,
there
no,
in the lounge.
I know where we were. I'm just thinking about what we were talking about.
You were talking about reports for confidence at play, and you would, I don't know, I can't tell your story, but there's, there was a sense that there was an opportunity in all of that to recognize that what was really going on was a sense of, I want to be able to engage the system in a dynamic way, and that actually the system doesn't create any limitations or boundaries, because there are always people who are working around it or not obeying the rules, no matter how many rules it looks like are in place. There's always this sense of the human element, the ticking the box and not doing the thing, or doing a thing and not writing it down. Like there's always that that freedom in there, no matter how restricting that system might look. And so when we get to a point engaging that system and we feel the rage of that restriction, it's often an invitation that we're not giving ourselves permission to see how dynamic our reality is, and how that is an invitation for us to give ourselves permission to be dynamic. I think that was the crux of it.
Yep, that was it. So, permission to dance. I just don't really have anything to say today. I'm just like, I've got to go back to that system today and do battle. You can see I'm wounded as well from the battle. It's terrible news. It's terrible news. It's the news report. Wounded in battle.
Yeah, the blades it leads. That's the news report.
Yeah.
So battle with your sense of being battled, or
that was a joke.
No.
But anyway, it's how it feels to be out in the world battling the system. It does feel like it drains a lot of energy to be trying to figure out a way to say things so that it feels like you're not in battle with the system. You are trying to enhance something that feels oppressive. It just feels exhausting.
But what if it wasn't, I guess,
and disheartening.
What if it wasn't cognitive, or what if it was intuitive? What if the conversations you had were intuitive, not cognitive? Like, instead of trying to figure out the right thing to say in order to control the outcome, what if it was just being present in the system? Would that be less exhausting? Would that be less?
I think that's what people feel like they go in and do, though. But then there comes a point where the system says, and I go, the system says, you must comply with my requirements, which means you must sit down and write the report and tick the boxes and squeeze all the little children into categories.
Yeah, but there's still room for intuition in all of that. There's still room for being present. I don't know. I don't. You know, like you still have to do your washing, because unless you want to walk around in dirty clothes, you can see that as a chore, or you can engage it as, you know, something that lights you up. I mean, you can make it the thing that you do in a particular outfit, or to music that you love, or at a time of the day, or with someone, or I don't know. It feels like even all those things that are obligations, we still have a choice about how we engage them.
It's funny, it just feels like go chronic fatigue all over again. I just go, since I've got up this morning to do the show, I don't know, even though it's permission to dance, it feels like there's a lot of people out there who don't want to be told you can dance and sing into your despair. I don't know, it just feels like there's a lot of people in the world in despair, or who feel like they're up against something that they, I don't know, just go, they don't know how to get themselves out of. And it's exhausting.
Trying to get out of it is exhausting, yes.
Yep.
Being with is not exhausting. Being with is being present. It's not about getting out of your despair. It's about how to be with. Maybe that's the conversation. You know,
Well, and then I just go, permission to dance. How does that? I don't know. You know, it's about being with your despair.
It's about being with, full stop. You know, like that's what that whole week, that whole flexibility is about. It's not about getting out or fixing or improving or changing or fighting or whatever the other things are. It's about being with. That's what the dance is. You know, and knowing that, like even yesterday in that conversation, that sense of, I don't know how you label it, oppression, anger, whatever you want to call it, that in itself was a conversation with the cosmos. That in itself, like knowing that emotion that bubbles to the surface is still that conversation, and it's knowing that those feelings are the loudest point, not so that you can go into battle, but so that you can be with, so that there's part of you that goes, actually, what I really want is this. That's why it's my loudest point. That's why I'm full of energy around this. You know, whether it's the energy of inspiration or the energy that you label anger and despair, whatever is the loudest point is there for you to pay attention and be with. But how can you decode that in a way that doesn't define you as the experience? You know, it's the I am despair, or I am depression, or I am oppressed, or I am, like, that's defining yourself, and the exhaustion is in trying to define yourself.
I'm not sure why I always get bad mother, but I was just thinking then too, you know, I am poor, or I'm homeless, or I'm a bad mother, or I am the experience that I'm having, whatever that experience is. And I was thinking also about you know, when people see permission to dance, it's like, yes, at last we're going to get into some light, higher, upbeat energy, you know, like where our culture is very much addicted to the getting the higher, lighter, upbeat energies.
Yeah.
And there is a sense, I know, for some people where it's like, oh, permission to dance, great, we're going to have the good part now. Let's get on to the good part. Right, fabulous. We'll do the thing that makes me high, you know, like high, whatever high means for you. We're going to get the answer. We're going to get all right, we're going for the good bit. The gooey caramel center. Yes. Oh, thank goodness for that. No more wallowing in the wallowing bit. Wallowing in the wallowing bit.
I don't know, and then that just, I guess, you know, even the appeal of just being natural, for me, I just go, why is that not enough? Like if you just get to be yourself effortlessly 24/7, why would you want to be high? I mean, high is a natural wave of what happens in your existence. You're constantly changing. You're constantly tuned into whatever's going
See you later,
on.
Lorinda. Have a good day.
You too.
You
Nice
know,
day, isn't it?
It's a lovely day.
like you're going to have highs. That favorite song's going to come on, or you're going to meet someone that says something that, you know, feels like butterflies inside.
I'll just fill you in because you can't see our doorway.
Mm.
There is a line of storm above us, I guess, and then there's a little thread of light in the sky, and out that window it's very sea misty, and overnight we've had crashing thunder and amazing lightning strikes, like amazing. Like, I was looking out the window, I was on the phone to my mum and dad, and there was like 7 like massive forks of lightning were hitting towards the beach, like the whole horizon was lit up with different forks of lightning. It was like, woo. It's a bit exciting. It's a bit exciting to be sitting in your cozy house at night looking out at it. That's that thing. And then people go, yeah, but to go out to work in it is another story.
Yeah.
Which is the same. I mean, it's the same story we're talking about. You know, even a different thing, the same thing, in a different set of circumstances, you can judge it as a high or a low.
Yeah.
You know, oh, the storm's great when you're inside, it's safe and warm. But when you're out in it, oh, that's a different story.
Yeah, but then how can you be with if you have to be out in it?
But I think that's even interesting, you know, like that sense of, you know,
It's not the conditions.
it's not the actual thing, you know. If I was going to, if someone said to me, oh, write whatever you like for the report, I would go, sure, I'd love to. And I'd be so excited and be my favourite creative writing exercise of the day, writing about the kids and what they're doing and how it all goes down at school or whatever. But when someone says to me, oh my God, we've got to write a report and the funding body wants it to look like this and it's got to be in these parameters and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God, do we have to do that? Really, we have to do that. Like it feels like there's a certain amount of just defiance, really.
But it's, you know, and then I would just say that is your effortless self saying be effortless. That is your effortless self saying tell them what they actually need to hear. I mean, and it's not about the outcomes. It's about being with, you know, because you don't, even if you might write the most amazing report and give them all the numbers that they want, it's not necessarily going to secure the outcome that you want. So there's no way to control all of the parameters so that you can, I don't know, control the universe, whatever it is that people think they're doing, you know. So if you can't control and there's no outcomes for you, because you're never going to actually get there, right? So this is what conspicuous consumerism is all based on, the idea that you build up all this energy around getting the car and you spend all this time at work doing something you hate, getting the money and convincing and creating relationships with financial bodies in order to get this object. And then you get the object and the experience of the object is not the joy and emotion that you kind of built up, because the minute you get the car, you're still in that mindset of, and so now I have an extra expense and now I've got to make sure it's safe. I can't park next to a shit car. I've got to make sure I've got somewhere to keep it. I've got to make sure I have the insurance. I've got to make sure so you never actually get the outcome. You're always just going for. There's no embodied present being with. That's the nature of conspicuous consumerism.
And I'm not sure what this has got to do with that, but it just also makes me think, like when you've said to me at times, and I've sat down and gone, what do I really want? Like I can't actually pin it down in its entirety, sort of thing. Like, yeah, I can go, oh, maybe I want that car, or I want my bills paid, or I want certain things. But when you go, what do you really want? Like why do those things light up for you? What is it you want? what is it you want? Like, you know, you can go world peace, but then you go, well, what does that look like?
Why
What?
do you want that?
But even
what
if
does
you,
that give you?
yeah, even if you go world peace and you go, well, what does that look like for you?
Yeah.
What do you actually want?
Yeah.
Like, what is it you're actually going for? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even in that sense that we think we've got all these goals and outcomes and targets, but really when we stop and even look at them, they're very shaky. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
as you say, the car, it's not really the car you want. There's something else going on there
Yeah, yeah.
because you get it and it's not it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's the promise.
I don't know if that exercise is something to do with this Permission to Dance week, but it's
Mm.
very much that sense of, well, what do you really want?
Mm.
Like, what is it you're going for? Which I think is one of the themes through the whole course anyway, which does then bring you back to that thing. What do you want? Do you want to go get a star on your report card at work? Or do you want to make the connection with people? Or do you want to be present?
But
or
even
what
in
do
all
you
of
want?
that, like, what does that get you? Because there's still things,
Mm.
you know, and that's why I always bring it back to that feeling loved, which we extrapolate out into all of those conditions of, you know, an individual sense of safety, an individual sense of meaning, an individual sense of belonging. You know, none of those things are going to be universal. That's why it looks like people don't get it or whatever it is, the story. You know, but if everyone is motivated by the desire to feel loved, and it looks different because everybody's experience of that, of developing what that means, their personal definition of what that is, their personal experience of what that is and how to maintain that, then that, you know, there's a freedom in that that allows you to stop focusing on what other people are or aren't doing and allows you to just be with your experience. And you can always come back to that point no matter what's going on and going, okay, if I'm, and everyone else is always motivated by the desire to feel loved, then how is that playing out in this situation? You know, how can I be with? If this is my conversation with the cosmos, then how can I be with? And it just takes you, you know, like it's you're being with the despair, but you're being with it in a way that allows it to be something sacred. So you're not feeding it. You're not defining yourself in it. It becomes a completely different experience. You're not trying to find the cause of it, you know, like it doesn't become another pathology. So that means no matter what's going on, you're always aware of the fact, you know, however you want to define this. I say I am a gift with a very important job. You're always able to come back to that point, even no matter what the conversation is that you're having.
And I think that's a fabulous even exercise is when you're out in the world today, how many times do people ask you or do you ask yourself, you know, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Or they give you an explanation for why. You know, like if you say, oh, yeah, I'm feeling, you know, they look at you and go, what's wrong with you today?
Yeah.
You go, oh, you know, just whatever. And then they go, oh, yeah, well, that's because, you know, and they'll give you the reason why you're feeling shit. Like they want, it feels like people want to give you the reason. Or, you know, it comes in all forms though. It's like even why you're doing good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, that'll be because the, you know, the moon's in whatever it is in whatever. We're getting close to full moon. No wonder you're high on energy. Fabulous. There's a reason.
That's our sense of safety. So when I said feeling loved comes, you know, extrapolates out to a personal sense of safety, like that is how we make sense of the universe. So if you can explain feeling shit by looking at the planets and just saying that's the explanation, that gives you a sense of safety. You understand how the universe works. You can decode your experience. And there's something even, there's something liberating in knowing that that's what you're doing to start with. And then when you get to the point and you make a decision and you say, okay, that's it. I just want to be free to be without the explanation because I don't have access to all of the information. Then there's another, you know, sense of liberation in that as well, which is hard. Like you can't compare it to anything. You have to have an experience of it to to really understand what the difference is. I don't know, and even in that, I just go, don't go for it, because it's not the goal. The goal isn't to be there going, oh, I'm completely liberated. No longer do I seek a reason for safety.
But I think many of us have become addicted to bargaining with the universe as well. Like there's a sense of bargaining. It's like, yes, I will dance with the universe. I will be free. I will be liberated. I will wander and be with people and love, see the love and all the rest of it. As long as you give me that one thing. If the car is in my driveway by 4 o'clock on Tuesday, I will continue to dance with the universe.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever the thing might be for you, right? For any of us, you know.
Yeah.
If they would just let me do my job how I want to.
Yeah.
Just get the plane ticket to America.
Yeah.
If they would just put the money in my bank account before my rent is due.
Yeah.
But it feels like there is this sense of bargaining with the universe. I will be a good, nice person if. And I know when we used to do some other work, there was always the example of, you know, you'll be loving to your husband and kind to your partner. You'll do everything, wash their dishes, wash their clothes, but then you'll leave them folded on the bed just to make sure that they put them away themselves. And if they don't put them away, that's it. I've done everything for you. All day I've been slaving, but now you don't even do one thing for me. You know, there's that great example which felt like quite resonated with people.
And
you know, like we go so far for people.
Is that an
It's a test.
Like, have you said, I'm going to put the clothes on the bed?
No, of course not. It's like an unspoken test. It's like, I was going to say, it's like a test of faith.
Yeah.
It's like, it is a test of faith that, you know, you're doing all these things for them for a good reason because they would do the same for you in a different situation.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which it kind of does. It's because it is like, I'm happy to do anything for you. But I really do want to know that if you had to put your own clothes away, you would. You wouldn't make me do that as well. You would take the opportunity to support me.
But there's a sense of, I'll do this half if you do that half, and it has to be a half that you recognise. But you don't want to have to lay it verbally on the line. You don't have to actually want to have that conversation. And that feels like there's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Well, and particularly where there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I know that sounds stupid, but, you know, whether it's a relationship where everyone's very busy and there's a lot going on, or a workplace where everyone's got a lot of roles and a lot of people to handle and a lot going on.
But if it's unspoken, like I just go, there's a lot of stuff going on because that person's playing power game. Like they're playing something out, giving them, you know, some weird thing that only they can see. And not actually communicating what they want. I mean, I guess we get to that. That's in another week. Say what you want. You know, ask for what you want, say what you mean, all that stuff. Which just simplifies your reality. It just...
And so permission to dance is really still in that area, fully in the area. I mean, it's all in the area of surrender somewhere. But I think a lot of people see surrender as drowning, or, you know, like giving up, or... I don't know, that sense of, oh, well, I'm not going to get what I want, or, you know, I'm going to have to compromise to somebody else's thing, or I'm going to have to not be free in the workplace, or, you know, what it feels like to a lot of people, that sense of surrender or going with the flow of the universe feels like they'll get smashed somewhere. It feels like they'll get shut down.
Well, if you're not dancing, it probably looks like that, yeah. I don't know, because if it will depend on the situation, because there's a sense that if you're at work and there's part of you that's screaming, is it part of you that's screaming just to be, or is it part of you that's screaming because you need to be somewhere else?
Get me out of here.
You know, because
I'm the only
sometimes...
one who can get me out of here.
Because sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a sense of you need to be yourself in this situation because, you know, there's a whole lot of becauses in there. But sometimes it's our sense of not having permission to do that rather than anything actually stopping us from doing that. And sometimes it's the universe going, there's something else. We want you to have another experience. You can stay here if you want, but the way that we communicate with you is that these emotions come up that make it unbearable for you not to pay attention. So all of that unbearableness is a conversation with the cosmos. It's saying, I want you to pay attention. It's whether you can figure out what it's asking you to pay attention to. And
when you say figure out, ooh, I have connections.
yeah.
Because then I go, that's where I've got, and I go caught
Mm.
in so many therapies, models, whatever,
Yeah.
of trying to figure out what the model wants me to do so that I will get the outcome I want.
And that,
Or, you know, so that
yeah.
I will find the answer, the right answer,
Yeah.
the thing that's going to free me out, or the thing that's going to give me what I want.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of working it out. And
But
even
all-
I've
Yeah.
just been looking through my journals as we've been cleaning up the house to move, and just thinking about how much of my journals are just about me trying to figure out the key. Figure out the key to unlocking whatever is wrong with me.
Yeah.
And I go, wrong with me, why I don't get what I think other people have got, really.
Yeah.
And even, you know, what I think they've got is not necessarily what they've got, but it's what I think other people have got quite often, that I'm holding myself up to, and whether it's internet programs or people in my life or whatever,
Mm.
other people I work with, there's some sense that I'm looking around me everywhere going, oh my God, I'm not measuring up.
Mm.
And even that sense of, I'm the only one saying I'm not measuring up. Everyone else is looking and going, you're doing fine, get a grip, you know, like,
Yeah.
what's your problem? What are you trying to figure out, Louise? Because, you know, like, you come in here and you're operating with the world, engaging it, doing your thing.
Yeah.
But then somewhere it's like you're trying to figure something out that's not irrelevant, but it feels like there's something about that figuring out that's like the bit where you go, I've been trying to figure this out for my whole life and I still haven't worked it out. So what are you talking about figuring out?
So the figure it out is not in pathology. The figure it out is not in outcomes. The figure it out is not in controlling or changing or improving or becoming anything. The figuring out is being with. So whatever the conversation is, whatever that loudest point is, whether it looks like it's outside or inside, you know, there is a figuring out what it's asking you to focus on. But in order to have that experience, there's a sense of, you know, I mean, you can, and this is the thing, no matter how you go about it, even if it's in pathology, even if it's in duality, even if it's in all those things, you're going to have your experience no matter what. You're going to be on purpose no matter what, but it's going to feel like suffering. It's going to feel like figuring it out to make it better and not succeeding. And so I guess these ideas are giving you a sense of how to be with, how to figure out what that conversation is asking you to focus on, how to have that dance in the moment in a way that it just feels gentler, it feels kinder, it feels more permissive, it feels more, I'm not sure how, you know, because you take on these little mantras that help you kind of stay heart-centered through all of it, no matter what's coming in. And it's not that you become calm, it's just that you allow. You know, so one of them is, if it wasn't about someone else, if it wasn't about other people, what would it be about? So there are, you know, we made a map of questions that kind of help you, because it is tempting, because you've lived in that concept of duality and pathology your whole life. You've never really had an experience of something outside of that. I don't know, unless you're like a Zen monk or something. I mean, that's the nature of their existence is very much present-centered in being with.
But even, I think, well, from my experience of being a Zen monk now, but it is like, 10 years of Vipassana meditation
That's
and
not
wanting to
Zen,
get
though.
that right.
But
But it's the same concept, being present to the moment, be with sensations exactly as they are, don't have any craving or aversion. It's the same. I don't know, so many things seem to be about being present.
no, but Zen doesn't have any rules. Zen
But
has
that doesn't have any
codes.
rules either.
It just said don't have any.
But it's not. There's no rules either. Like, it's like whatever is be with it. That's the basis of it.
Yeah.
But we build it into rules. Do you know? Like, our whole, like you're saying, we
Yeah.
are so caught up. And that's all I'm saying, is that even if you've been a Zen monk, chances are you've been looking around at the world outside you going, they're all wrong and I've got to get it right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm just saying, in that that duality feels so pervasive in us that even when we're practicing something that's saying, just be with sensation as it is in the moment, we go, oh, am I in the moment? Yeah, yes, I think I've got it right. Fabulous. I'm in the moment. Oh, shit, I got it wrong. I wasn't in the moment. Oh, look at all those people out there rushing around. They're not in the moment. Terrible people. Why aren't they in the moment? They're in the moment. It'd be easy for me to be in the moment. So, I'm just saying, like, our tendency, even when we're being in the moment,
But that's not
is
in
not,
the moment.
no,
Yeah.
but that's what I mean. Our mind is, it feels like we overlay everything with the duality.
Yeah.
It's like everything, even when we are going, I am being out of duality, we're going, oh, have I got it right? Yeah, no, I got it right. Yeah. Am I out of duality? I didn't say right or wrong all day. That's right. That's good.
Yeah.
And that sense of judgment as well, looking around and going, what are other people doing? Are they being good or bad, right or wrong? Are they, where are they? Am I as close to it as they are? I'm not sure. Let me have a look. Let me measure myself up.
No, I'm just thinking about how intertwined all those concepts of how the universe works, what other people are doing, and who I am and why I'm here, how intertwined all of that stuff is when you start talking about these permissions. Because it seems like it doesn't matter. Like, that was the difference between having a session with someone and just following and not giving them any sense of this cosmology, just following them. They would be able to translate the conversation for the specific things they talked about. But as soon as it extrapolated out into the rest of the world, there was no, like, I never understood why there was no, because their cosmology kind of bases them in this, I guess it is, in that duality, in that sense of pathology and exchange. So any of those ideas that we have in session that's just for you and your language without the cosmology is only going to apply as far as your cosmology allows. And if you go back into the world and have an experience and you translate that experience as spiritual hurting, I should have gone this way, or the universe is rewarding me for going this way, then you're just reinforcing the cosmology you're already in, and you have to keep coming back to have session after session after session after session. And it's not going to, maybe it will eventually, but it doesn't feel like it cascades out so that you have, because it's not an idea. These aren't ideas that you carry around and I don't know, and have on the side. It's actually how you look at the world. It's how you feel when you're in it. It's how you navigate your relationships and interpret other people's behaviors. You're not telling any stories about people being selfish or, they're not living up to their potential. You know, you don't tell any of those stories anymore because the only thing you see is that everybody is doing the best they can with what they have. You only see what's happening for them. You don't see what's not happening. You only see where they are present. You don't see where they're not. Like it changes the whole perspective of existence. I don't know, it just feels like a different, you know, like people are looking for tools and tips and a sense of a story that will help them recover or help them succeed or help them cope. And this is a whole, there is no such thing as succeed or cope or recover. I don't know, you just have a completely different experience of reality. But it's not all serious. Like, you know, you can feel this. It's quite tingly. You know, you get to have tantrums. You get to put your boots on and walk around like a 2-year-old. But you do it in a way that's, you take responsibility for it and everybody knows. And it turns into play. And if there is upset, it's upset for its own sake. And you just have it. And if you can, you ask for what you need. And if you can't, you know, you're just with as much as you can. Like it's not going for that one frequency. You know, it's not about having a smooth ride. And I keep going back to the sandpit. I keep thinking about it's knowing that there is someone that loves you, that's holding your experience. It's knowing that whatever's going on, there's a reason, even if it seems unreasonable. It just comes back to all of those mantras, because until you have the experience, that's what it is. It's all of those mantras. Because the explanation doesn't really do it justice, doesn't give you a sense of what it feels like.
And so that just makes me go, we should plug our ebook, which is the 10 Commitments, which is very much about all those mantras and going just a different cut of them from a different cosmology, from a different way of... Because I know that a lot of people will be sitting there going, oh, that's all very well. That's all very well, but there is good and bad in the world, and I'm a part of the crusade to fix the things that are wrong and to help the oppressed and to fix my own life.
Yeah.
You know, to change the things that aren't working for me. I want to have some duality in my world because I know what's not working and I want to go towards what is.
Yeah.
And I guess it's that sense, you know, where you were saying it's not something you just put on and try out.
Yeah.
Even if that's what you're doing, if you're going, hang on, this duality thing, it's got something to it. But then at the same time, you're going, I want to keep hold of good and bad because there's right and wrong in the world and I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Have that experience. Because you're having that experience for a reason. You'll be walking down that path for a reason. And if it is to, you know, have a conversation with us, to shape the connection between us and our ideas, or if it is to be more driven into the purposeful area where you're working, where it does just drive you into that area to go gung-ho somewhere, you know, like, and have an experience in the area you feel purposeful in, you know, there'll be something that because your experience is perfect, and there'll be something that's there for you.
Yeah.
Like, it's not to then put another layer over that and go, well, they're telling me I'm wrong because I've got duality in my life. Duality is in my life for a reason.
Yeah, no, I think it's just that life can be effortless. And if duality is not effortless, you're still on purpose. You're still doing what you need to be doing. You're not failing. It's just that your experience isn't effortless. You're not seeing it in a way that makes it, that you have faith in it. You don't see it in a way that feels interconnected. That's the only difference. It's not that this is a better, higher, smoother, faster, sexier, richer version. It's just and it just feels simpler and kinder somehow.
Because you get to practice dancing with yourself.
Yeah. And it's also about...
You don't have to dance with someone else. I mean, in the sense that you don't have to be someone else to dance.
Yeah.
You can just dance anyway, just how you are.
And I think it's kinder because even if you are on that mission, even if it is about human rights, even if it is about sustainability and accountability and all of that stuff, there's a sense that knowing that everyone is motivated by the desire to feel loved, and that if you really want to connect with people so that the systems are built differently, because it's people that build and sustain the systems. The systems do not exist outside of the people that build and maintain them. If that's the level that you really want to work in, there is a sense that knowing that people's behavior, people's sense of what they want and what they value is all coming back to how they feel loved. And if you can connect in through that idea, it's a much gentler quest. It is the same story that we come up with about the tribe. If there is a transgression, the person is reminded of their heart song. They're reminded of what it is that interconnects them to everybody, as well as their own sense of self and the all that is. And in bringing someone back to that empowerment, there are those transgressions are seen as feeling disconnected from that heart song. They're not seen as an ego-driven cruelty, and that person is embraced, and there's a different experience to be had in that interconnection. So even in that quest, if that battle is transformed into, well, how can I connect to those people who build those systems in a way that I sing their heart song? Because you imagine, like, if you're in a legal dispute and it takes 20 years with a corporation, versus if you happen to have a conversation with someone who happens to be the person who makes the decision, and something sparks in that conversation and they start making a different decision because they're realizing that the decisions that they're making are always about how they feel loved, and they can do that in a different way. There's no way for you to really understand the job, the very important job that you have, and how spirit wants you to do that. There's just a grand flexibility and how to be with, knowing that those are your loudest points, knowing that that human right or that sustainability is your loudest point is one thing. And then knowing that if instead of focusing on the battle, I focus on the fact that everybody is motivated by the desire to feel loved, and spirit will tell me who to talk to and what to say and, where to be, because they are my loudest points. it's a much gentler quest. You know, and you don't write yourself off because this box didn't get ticked or that court case didn't get won, and you're always there and you're always aware. It's not like you shut down to all of the things that are going on in the world. Just that dance becomes, I don't know, somewhere it's more obvious, and then it's also completely in trust because you have no idea what's going on, you know, in the bigger picture. You just know what it is that you're being asked to do.
So there.
So there.
So there.
So the commitments is on miraclesandwonderdownunder.com.
In the store, where you will also see our fabulous sessions. And where you will also find, is there a place there to sign up for the Fairy Godmother's Code? If you're having trouble getting to the dance,
Not
on
in
the front
store.
page, Mel, just tell them where it is. Where is that? Anyway, if you trawl through everything of ours and look at everything, at some point you'll find the Fairy Godmother's Code, and if you're having trouble getting to the ball and having a dance, the Fairy Godmother will help you.
Yeah.
Ding! She'll turn the pumpkin into a coach. But we don't know where it is. It's a secret. It's top secret.
In all kinds of other places. It's in the newsletter. So if you're signed up for the
so go to the front page of Miracles
newsletter, it's in there.
Okay.
If you've been to Miracles of Wonder Pinterest, it's on there. If you've been to my blog, it's in there. But I can put a link on the front page of miraclesandwonderdownunder.com or the Fairy Godmother's Code.
It'll all become clear one day. Fabulous. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Permission to dance.
Fill in your dance card. See ya. Over and out. Over and out.